There was a motions hearing this morning. Rapper Gunna, whose real name is Sergio Kitchens, was denied bond.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Gunna. Well, it looks like Gunna and his team got some good news because his part of the YSL RICO indictment seems to be over. It looks like Gunna is actually coming home, and this worked out the best for him. But the crazy part about this situation is it seems like he might have let some of the people on his team high and dry, meaning that they won't get the same deal as him, and maybe there were warning signs about this coming earlier, man. Now, when I say warning signs, I'm talking about posts that he put out there before on social media that kind of let us know that things were going all right with him, and some uplifting words that he put out there as well. But when it comes to this RICO indictment, it seems like Gunna's getting some good news and Young Thug is actually been getting some bad news. So we're gonna break down exactly what happened in court today and how this might hurt his team in the long run, but still a win for Gunna personally. Now, before we do that, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. The hip hop community was shocked earlier this year when rap stars Gunna and Young Thug were arrested under a RICO indictment in the state of Georgia. This came as a huge shock and blow to the hip hop community because Gunna was at the top of the game. #1 album after #1 album, things couldn't look better until the RICO indictment came down. But since then, it's been a series of ups and downs that have had Young Thug, Gunna, and the YSL label hanging in the balance. But now it seems like there might be a ray of sunshine and all that because it looks like Gunna is coming home with time served. So let's talk about this news story that breaks down the details about what went down in court today. Now, the headline of the story says, Atlanta rapper Gunna to be released after pleading guilty to RICO charge. Now, this had a lot of people thinking, if he's pleading guilty to a RICO charge, doesn't that implicate everybody else on the RICO? But it might not be that clear cut and dry. So let's get to the story. The report goes on to say this. Atlanta rapper Gunna has pleaded guilty to a racketeering conspiracy charge in a sweeping gang indictment against the rapper Young Thug and several other alleged members of the Young Slime Life criminal street gang. Now, some people might be looking at Gunna with the side eye and wondering why he copped out to a RICO charge, knowing there's other people on there that probably want to say that they're not even involved in a street gang. Well, don't forget, a couple of months ago, there was another guy who was indicted within this same RICO indictment that already blew the case open, already let it be known that he was recruited into a gang earlier and claimed to be a member of Young Slime Life. But it didn't work out for him the way that it worked out for Gunna. In Gunna's case, the rapper entered a negotiated plea, known as an Alfred plea, in which he pleaded guilty on one charge because it was in his best interest while maintaining his innocence on the same charge. So you see there, he was able to plead guilty on the charge while also maintaining his innocence. So that way, he doesn't hurt anybody else who was a co-defendant of his. Now, the charge was one count of conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corruption Act. And let's be real, that's the only charge that they really had against Gunna and the reason why he was even in this RICO indictment to begin with. So it only makes sense that he copped out to that RICO indictment charge, right? Now, this is how he came home free. So in this deal, Gunna was sentenced to 5 years with 1 served in prison. The 1-year sentence was commuted to time served. The 4-year remaining balance of his sentence has been suspended and will be subject to special conditions, including 500 hours of community service. So you're probably wondering what that means. So he got a 5-year sentence with this deal, right? Now, one of those years was supposed to be served in prison, but for that year in prison, he got credit for the time that he's already served in jail. Remember, they've been locked up for a while. Now, with the remaining 4 years on his balance, he's got to do 500 hours of community service. I'm pretty sure they're gonna find ways for him to do things in the community. And the funny part about it is he'll probably find himself working with the same people that just tried to indict him to talk to the community about the trouble of gang violence and crime. Now, this will have a positive effect on Gunna, and it looks like it's gonna work out in his favor, and he's already talked to social media about this. The rapper already released a statement saying this in quotes, "While I have agreed to always be truthful, I wanna make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements. I have not been interviewed, I have not cooperated, and I have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. And that was Gunna's way of jumping out ahead of this and letting everybody know that even though he got a sweet deal in this situation, he is in no way trying to cooperate, testify, or go against YSL or Young Thug or anybody involved in the RICO case, which was a smart move on his behalf in most ways. Now, what's crazy about this, most people would hear that Gunna got a deal and copped a plea and think it would hurt their case, but when you look at the facts about this, that's not the case at all. It seemed like Gunna was in this trial for no reason to begin with. I've gone on record several times as saying him being involved in this RICO case just didn't make any sense because the evidence against him was loose, to say the least. Pictures of him throwing up a YSL hand sign, him saying slat in music videos or on IG just didn't seem to hold as much weight as probably the prosecution thought. And the best thing for them to do was bring a deal to the table that would have the DA's office avoid some bad publicity in the future, just in case they lost the RICO case against Gunna. Now, this also has Gunna leaving this situation not unscathed, because if all of the reports are correct, he's still gonna have a felony conviction on his record. So he needs to make sure to tread lightly in the future while he's navigating through the rap game. Now, Gunna is one of the most sought after hip hop artists for features and hit songs in the rap game right now. When he got locked up, that's why this hit so hard. Same with Young Thug. They were just on a wave that was so big you couldn't see them crash so far. He's been locked up for a while and it hasn't been an easy road, but at least he made it out of this thing with the best result for himself and his music career. Now, a lot of people are going to be talking and chattering, but I want to make sure that we get the word out there that this doesn't mean that Gunna cooperated at all. This means that Gunna had a deal on the table where he felt like he'll take a hit for himself personally, but he'll still be able to be loyal to Young Thug, YSL, and everybody else involved. But what do you guys think about this situation, man? Because don't forget, Gunna was on social media several weeks ago making posts that seemed positive, that seemed like things were gonna work in his favor, and maybe he was already working on this deal in the back end and knew that it was gonna work out this way. And today in court, he got exactly what he needed, an ability to put this YSL RICO case behind him and come home free so that way he could get back to getting money and making music. But y'all tell me in the comment section what you think about this situation. Do you think this is the best deal that Gunna could have ever got and this is just a win all the way through? I mean, it seems like it to me. Or do you think that there's some way that this could come back and bite him in the end? Also, on the flip side, what do you think about Young Thug and the rest of the YSL members? Do you think they're gonna be salty about this situation? Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I do one of these updates. And we out of here. Peace.